Welcome back to the English broadcast of the LPL. We are currently in week 10, day 1, just one more week until we get to our own playoffs here in the LPL. Of course, we're a little bit sluggish behind the rest of the regions, but we'll catch up very shortly. And we are coming in for our match of the week here as well, coming into the second game between Rogue Warriors and Royal Never Give Up. Now, in that first game, Royal Never Give Up obviously come out swinging. They come out with what they're really strong with their outplay potential. And Rogue Warriors, it's like, well, what can they respond with? Because they're always bot lane focused, but their bot lane is just kind of being shut down because you have a player like Uzi on the other side. Yeah, the problem with Rogue Warriors right now is that they don't have any priority in their top lane, in mid lane. RNG was able to leverage the entire map towards the bot lane, so even when SMLZ was winning lane, they couldn't get anything out of it. Also, this goes to Flawless as well. 42% of his ganks go towards the bot lane. That's the single highest lane gank percentage for any jungler in the LPL. So it really is about diversifying for Rogue Warriors. Can you show that you have a second game plan around you? Can you match the roaming from someone like Xiaohu, from someone like Zatai? Yeah, and do you actually have another point on the map that you can really play around, you know, because Rogue Warriors, they're not like an Invictus game and you can't win through mid and top and bot lane or wherever you want to. You're looking really towards SMLZ to be that late game insurance, to be that carry. Well, we'll see what will be in game 2 here, because RNG will take away the Jarvan, Kha'Zix, and Trundle, but I see that Swain is open currently. Yeah, that's the big one, but Uzi takes up Xayah. This is his only second game on Xayah so far. He has not found a single victory on Xayah. He didn't really look that good. His team didn't really know how to play around the Xayah pick. So this is a lot of experimentation coming out from RNG. I'll take it one step further, Clement. It was an absolute disaster when he picked it up against LGD. They got demolished in that game. It was one of the reasons why he got taken to game 3 in the first place. But they're going to try it again today into Rogue Warriors. They'll pick up a Sejuani and an Alistair on their side. Swain's still open. Olaf, Varus, and Camille with the bans from Rogue Warriors. Yep, and Swain is still open for Rogue Warriors as well if they want to snag up that pick. RNG looking for a very bot-focused composition. They have good ganking power, good initiation, and I want to see what SMLZ answers the Xayah with. Now, we typically do see the Caitlyn, and he's also one of the players that does have the Jhin as well. So he does have those lane counters that he could potentially go towards. RNG also have that full lovers duo as well in terms of that Rakan, and as that comes into the jungle as well for Casa once again. Rogue Warriors will pick up the Gangplank to finish their first round of picks here. So assume that will go up to Mouse in the top lane. Not has been banned away as well, so trying to remove some of those strong picks into the Gangplank. The big thing we should note here is that nothing has been levied towards the mid lane. Basically, all mid lane champions are still open right now. Rogue Warriors are looking to let Doinby be the carry of this game. Get them that second focus on the map with his counter pick. Karma gets taken away by RNG as well towards Doinby, and Fiora as well into the top lane. So taking away both of the heavy split pushing options from Zatai. No Camille, no Fiora for you. We've got to make sure that hopefully Mouse should be able to bullet sponge this one in the top lane. Still one more pick for RNG. They're thinking about it. What they're worried about is mid lane priority. They do have to show what Xiaohu has in the back before Rogue Warriors. Orianna, the final ban towards Doinby, really just hitting the shields hard. And you know, Rogue Warriors have been one of the teams that have really been exploiting shield comps over and over and over again, protecting SMLZ in the bottom lane. So RNG, they've definitely done their homework heading into this series. This is a very interesting pick. If it is a Sivir late game, I don't really like the matchup with her against Xayah. It's very hard to predict when Xayah is actually going to use her Blade Caller, but she's still going to lock it in anyway. We've seen a lot of Sivirs, but it's mainly been against the Jhin in the LCS. It's a lot rarer to see Sivir being picked up here. And of course the Cassiopeia for RNG, that's why you ban out the Orianna, the biggest counter to Cassio. Very interesting, yeah. I mean, Sivir has not really done too well in our league, Clement, sitting at 28% win rate over 7 games. This will be her 8th game. And there's a Swain lock-in. I can't believe we saw a Swain go all the way through picks and bans to the final pick here for RNG. And is that going to be a Victor? No, this is pretty much the only, like, I can only think of Crown that could pick this up in 2018. Not a very strong champion. Hey, don't you remember Iceborne Gauntlet Victor that Doinby brought out and dealt the highest damage ever in mid lane? I want to forget about it. Yeah. Hey, it's a possibility here. If you want to try and beat RNG, you will just lock in the Victor, our second Victor so far of the LPL in spring. We don't see it very often, but it is Doinby in the mid lane.
So we have seen this composition come out from SKT before, and the way you want to play it is it can work as kind of a 1-3-1 composition. They do have a lot of wave clear potential with the Victor, with the Sivir, and you try to group and find picks before the enemy team. However, this is a far cry from what we usually see from Rogue Warriors.
Oh yeah, that's for certain, but I mean, RNG took away so many options that Rogue Warriors like to move towards, you know, those shields looking towards the bottom lane, promoting that AD carry, and we're also talking about, well, they need another way to win through in this game. I feel like the Victor may be the answer to that.
Yeah. Ming, you can see him shaking his head. He's feeling the groove right now. He likes the ban picks they've set up in front of him. It's a lot of damage on RNG's side, and they do have the Zac initiation as well with the Rakan. So if RNG can pull off a good team fight, they could 5-0 people in an instant.
If he can, team fight is exceptionally strong. I do wonder how much of this Victor was Doinby saying I can play it, and how much Stake was saying, no, this is the pick right here. This is how we round out the composition.
I do understand the Victor. You do have the range advantage over the Cassiopeia. However, that comes into the laning phase quite late. You do need kind of your upgrades to keep that distance. With the Cassio, it's still not a very good lane early on. And to be honest, I don't think it's a very good champion overall in this stage. The damage has been hit incredibly hard, so it doesn't really have the impact like it did in Season 5.
Well, he's absolutely a legacy pick for Doinby for certain. The signature champion, if you will. But of course, this game is also going to revolve about the bottom lane once again. And it's important to look at this Xayah coming in from Uzi, because it's only been played 2 times. This is the second time that Uzi's picked it up in the entirety of the spring split. And the first time did not go well.
Yep, it did not go well whatsoever. So Uzi looking for a bit of redemption himself, trying to change his legacy to the point where he can actually play all these champions. You know, Uzi, he's a great laning player, but a lot of times he takes himself into bad matchups because of his champion pool.
Well, here we go. Just another couple seconds until we hit the rift for our second game in our match of the week between Royal Never Give Up and Rogue Warriors.
Ooh, cheeky play from Ming here, setting up an ambush.
So sitting in the shadows right now. SMLZ about to be closed in around, finds the knockup. I mean, there's no spell shield right now. SMLZ has both summoners been taking so much damage out from Uzi. Flash over the wall, and Ming, he gets the execute and first blood.
He gets the first blood without Spell Thief's Blaze, so no extra 10 true damage. Last auto attack does take down the Sivir, and SMLZ has to burn both of his summoners.
It's absolutely massive here for RNG. I mean, trading both summoners on your support for both summoners on the ADC, especially when it's Rogue Warriors are going up against, this is huge.
Yeah, that's definitely massive, and a very good flash coming out from Ming right there. He is feeling his grooves so far. And you have to know that Rakan actually has the highest level 1 damage out of any champion in the league. So he definitely did some calculations there and said, you know what, I'm going to go for it.
Uzi right now will be solo in lane because he's just waiting for Ming to come back from base to spend that gold right there. And we get to see the first blood once again. Wow, he jumped over the wall.
It's a great play coming out. A bit of innovation from Ming.
And if you're SMLZ, how do you even see this one coming? You know, you're thinking lines of scrimmage, just going to say hello to the AD carry, just going to back off, go into the laning phase. But then Ming's right behind him.
I will say that wasn't very polite, though, because the Sivir was using his... SMLZ was using the taunt button so far. The conversation you had right there, that was Sivir trying to taunt Xayah. So, you know, probably Ming figured out that SMLZ would be a little bit distracted.
That's true. It's maybe a little bit BM, but hey, if it gets you first blood in an important matchup like this, RNG still want this win here against Rogue Warriors. If they win this one, they will be locked into playoffs here. So it's still a very important match for them. Flawless jumps over the wall. He will find Karsa, who's actually pretty low. Bot lane's going to start skirmishing, and Flawless is chasing them down. Double knockup coming in from Kahlua, but Karsa's very low himself. Here comes Ming for the assist, and Flawless forced to flash away.
Good play there from Ming, going back to Karsa's side and forcing another flash out of the jungler from Flawless. Like we said, Rogue Warriors likes to gank their bot lane over and over again, but it looks like they're not going to get much payoff at this point.
We take a look at the mid lane here. Victor versus Cassiopeia, not necessarily a matchup you see every day of the week. Another engage in the bottom lane by Kahlua. Double knockout onto Uzi and Ming, getting that damage down here and helping out SMLZ after that start here.
What we should note is the wave clear coming out from SMLZ right here. Over our Rogue Warriors, all 3 of their lanes will outpush RNG in terms of the late game. So what they're looking for is to stabilize their laning phase and let their pushing power give them those picks in the mid game where they can use the Sivir on the hunt and try to find uneven number fights.
And now we get a bit of time to talk about the mid lane. We've got this Victor coming out. He's a little bit behind in farm though, and Xiaohu has been constantly pushing him in the mid lane, which gives him an opportunity to go into the top jungle, hit that Scry's Bloom, get some information here for Karsa. And Doinby is on his Victor, so he hasn't picked it in a long time. Didn't see it really in the spring split, but this is a legacy pick of Doinby's. Last time I remember seeing it was that Iceborne Gauntlet that we saw on the Victor. Ended up doing a crazy amount of damage. This is Doinby. He likes to innovate with the tank builds.
Yep, definitely that's his MO. He doesn't really like to be the super hard carry. He doesn't go for the super hard carry builds a lot of the time. And likes to experiment with things.
Yeah, back when he was on JD, even QG Reapers, it just didn't really work out because he didn't have places to work around, right? You know, Doinby was the star player in the mid lane. It was like, well, all eyes on Doinby. What have you got? How are you going to carry? And he builds tank in mid lane as well. I guess that's not going to work, but he's still very talented. And then when he moves to Rogue Warriors, he got SMLZ to play around. And that's one of the core reasons that Rogue Warriors have found to play around and be so strong in this split.
Yep, definitely part of Doinby finding his home on this roster of Rogue Warriors, having that person he can play around and really support with his unique play style here. But we can see right now that the Victor doesn't have a very good time early against Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia, of course, with the presence of mind, is able to outpush and outdamage the Victor. So it is really much more of a late game pick for them. And at this rate, they do have to worry about RNG kind of running them over.
And it's that war of attrition that he's losing in the mid lane. And as the analyst desk was saying, it really does seem like RNG are one of the best teams suited to take down a team like Rogue Warriors. You know, they hit hard in the early game, and Rogue Warriors don't really get the chance to get into those team fights. They're not allowed to group up and be strong. So RNG, we saw that in the first game, we'll see if they can do it again here. As Karsa looking for a gank into this bottom lane, Kalu and SMLZ. They step forwards, they'll be under attack, but they are playing it safe.
Yep, that was a good read from SMLZ. He knew that he didn't have a flash, didn't have a spell shield, so he backed off immediately, and Karsa unable to find anything on the gank.
Though we will invade right here, place down a ward, get some vision over Flawless's jungle. We look towards these Merc Wolves as well. And in fact, Flawless is in the top side of his map. No jungle camp, so he'll move into the bottom side and probably arrive on the scene just in time to see that he doesn't have any wolves anymore.
Yeah, that's a really good ward out from Karsa. Quite a interesting ward there. Usually you see the ward right beneath blue buff, but this way it will give him a rather early warning to where Sejuani is going to come from if she does decide to move from the top to the bottom side.
And in fact did catch Flawless on the way down as well, so knows exactly where Flawless is right now. He's on his Grump. We're actually seeing a 3-man group here coming out from RNG.
This is a quintessential Doinby play. Uses his ultimate to clear the wave.
And go back to base. Yeah, he's definitely not a carnivore.
Yep.
We'll be looking for those minions, try and catch up and farm just a little before going back to base. Look for his first recall of the game, and actually go for the Tear of the Goddess to start off.
Is looking for the 30 no rush type of game style.
Yeah, yeah. Gone are the days of 20-minute no rush. It's literally 30 minutes. Give me some time. Meet us on the battlefield. Group of that would be great.
If we look at RNG's team composition, though, they do have a lot of squishy targets for the Ricochet to do a lot of damage from SMLZ. And also, one barrel could completely turn around the team fight. So the more I look at this composition, the more I feel like even though it does have lower overall strength, it has more potential to simply overrun the enemy team.
You know, a lot of that is going to come down to Rogue Warriors actually being able to group up in the first place, you know. Clue a nice foresight there, places down a control ward and spots out Karsa just as he walks into the bottom lane. So that gank will diffuse and fizzle, and Karsa will go back to base. Look towards his jungle now, his buffs are spawning, so it's got some housekeeping to do.
Kind of a slow start from both teams. Only that level 1 first gank coming out from RNG. And we do have level 6 for Flawless, so I do expect him to try to equalize that bot lane. If you look at the CS difference, Sivir is still not having a very good time.
Meanwhile, we haven't really seen a ton of ganks from the junglers just yet, and you're absolutely right, level 6 has been picked up by pretty much everyone on the map right now, so is Spock's going to fly? Now would definitely be the time. Now looking towards Flawless, moving towards the bottom lane right here, walks past the Cloud Dragon. will be coming into this tri-bush. Here comes engage out from Ming, and the preemptive engage out from Kahlua right here. Uzi goes up into the skies and runs away, and the ultimate does not connect out from Flawless.
Here's the collapse coming from RNG, however, can Rogue Warriors retreat?
And it's chasing them down. Karsa, he's in the wings as well, and Zhao, who's getting so much damage onto SMLZ. The intercept out from Kahlua. He may actually pay for it though, because he's kidnapped back into the team of RNG, and Uzi will find the second kill.
Yep, Zach headbutted the Cassiopeia and did save the AD carry's life, but had to pay for it himself. That was a good try from Flawless, and like we predicted, he's still going for the bot lane ganks. He wants to get SMLZ ahead in this fight. If he reaches that 40-minute late game Sivir, he will kill everyone with the Ricochet, but he needs to hold on to his teeth and really grind through the early game.
And the bottom lane engage out from Ming. That was fantastic. Engage coming in from Ming. Destroys SMLZ underneath his tower.
And this is such a better showing from Uzi. So actually his third game on Xayah, 2.0 KDA. Not a very good number, we have to say, but recently we have gotten a lot of news that Uzi has been grinding out this champion on solo queue. He's been doing with Ming a lot of the times and trying to perfect this combo.
Last Victor game was last year at around the same time. Wow, almost been a full year since Zombie's last Victor game.
Yeah, it's like an anniversary for him. It's like, it's almost April. It's about time.
Well, maybe it is actually, yeah. It's just like I haven't played Victor in a while. Got to refresh that timer. But for sure, Uzi getting those 2 kills in the early game. A lot of that was facilitated by Ming, though, and the team trying to feed up Uzi in the early game. The real test will be later on, whether he can play out the skirmishes and the team fights well.
And in the bot lane, we do have to be very aware of the power spike coming out from the Zeke's convergence as well. That does give you 50% magic damage on your auto attacks. And if Xayah can get a lucky crit in that time period, it will swing the matchup incredibly hard.
A lot of damage very quickly. Kahlua and SMLZ taking the opportunity to push up here. The CC coming down as well onto Ming. So Rogue Warriors will be able to clear away a path for Flawless to perhaps make his way into the bottom lane, but Karsa, he's read this.
Flawless has been spotted, so the fight here for Rogue Warriors is not going to go very well if they commit for it. They're trying to pinch Flawless.
On the bottom lane, RNG are pushing up, shoving RW back to their tower. Flawless looking for a potential lane gank here as well if RNG continue to push up. It's difficult for the junglers really to get involved here.
Once again, we see Rogue Warriors with no priority anywhere on the map. The Victor pick, sure, it's a great pick later, but it doesn't come online soon enough for Rogue Warriors. In the top lane, we've got no vision for 3 minutes or so, but again, Zatai is winning that lane incredibly hard, and it doesn't look like Rogue Warriors has any answers in the early and mid game.
But definitely to be expected of the team, and that's where it's RNG's time to shine. They've got these 3 kills already, but Rogue Warriors are trying to make a play into the bottom side. Flawless has his ultimate and dodges. Nice dodge from Uzi. The re-engage now from Ming. Finds the taunt onto 3 targets. Casts it into the play. However, the teleport coming down from RNG. They're looking to cut off Kahlua right here. And Zatai, he's found him. He's in his sights. He zaps him to death. And Ming chases away the rest of Rogue Warriors. Another kill to RNG.
Oh, RNG were looking for that. You know, Flawless has been trying to gank this lane. That was the 5th gank towards the bottom lane, so RNG was so well prepared to intercept that. An amazing play on Uzi. I actually felt like Kahlua gave that play away. He tried to dodge the headbutt, and once the headbutt came out, that signaled Xayah to use the R and escape all of the crowd control.
RNG got so much off of that as well, but we can see how it all started. It's really off of this dodge.
Yeah, like I really felt like Kahlua kind of gave that away for Uzi. Maybe Uzi was able to spot out Flawless as well as on the side of his vision right there. And look at the teleport warding. RNG were definitely prepared for that, leveraging the entirety of the map into the bot lane. And that has been the big difference between these 2 teams. Sure, they both have great bot lanes, but RNG has been the one, time and time again, to pull the rest of the map into the bot lane.
Now will result in a tower in the bot lane, also moving Uzi and Ming into the top side now, also going to have extra pressure over that Rip Herald to make another play, and RNG are just kind of compounding on their lead now, constantly looking for engages, skirmishes, objectives here, while Rogue Warriors are really just trying to recover.
Yeah, we do have to know RNG also picked up the Cloud Drake during the replay.
Blue gets a nice knock up there onto Uzi, but here's the engage out from Karsa, knock up onto Alice, he's already dead, and Mouse sees his ally die before his eyes.
This is incredibly terrifying to see an Uzi this far ahead, already with Zeke's convergence and already with 2-0-3 on the scoreline. He's so far ahead of the rest of the map. The Alistar, a tanky champion, fell down in less than 2 seconds.
Didn't have his ultimate, to be fair. I was tanking us to come off his ultimate, but Rogue Warriors trying to huddle up behind the tower and look for the recalls, but constantly being interrupted. And RNG is putting so much pressure down onto RW, making it difficult for them to really do anything in this game. Costa's actually starting off the Herald right here. She'll be able to pick this one up uncontested as Uzi and Ming also come down.
Oh, I love watching Uzi go off, because in those big games, you know, he's not going to play very careful. He's going to go in the front line and try to kill everyone. He has that blinding rage in him that when he's ahead and when he wants revenge, he can really unleash it on the enemy team.
Yeah, you can definitely see it in his play, but on Xayah, maybe you don't necessarily want to be moving forwards all the time. You probably want to move backwards first and then move forwards.
He's going to press R and go forwards.
Yeah. We're probably going to see it. We laugh now, but he's definitely going to do it in a team fight later.
Oh, yeah.
You watch. Zombie in the mid lane is completely out of mana. Flawless looking for a, I want to say a gank, but probably just trying to keep this mid lane tower alive more than anything. So Ty is actually pressuring up this blue buff. Arsa's going to see this one, and Flawless might just have to smite this one away. No, actually pushes away the Swain. And actually just picks it up regardless. Flawless though, maybe that was a bait. Demonic Conception comes up. Zatai flashes over the wall and jumps back over the wall once again with the blast cone. Now the 3 versus 1. He's staying alive for so long, but eventually he should go down. There we go. Victor finds the kill.
And that makes it completely worth it for RNG. They're able to pick up 2 towers off of that play from Zatai. Able to drag out the team fight, force 3 people to take his life. It's a great sacrifice.
Yeah, the bait and then the counter bait out from RNG, and yeah, Zatai will be happy with that one. He just simply doesn't die on the Swain. He's got that Rod of Ages already. The Rogue Warrior is finding it difficult to cut through that front line. You can take a look at the gold difference as well. 500 gold ahead of this Gangplank, even in the top lane. He's had to go grasp the Undying this game as well. No Kleptomancy for him. And it's really eyes on Uzi's scoreline because he's got, what, 2,200 gold over SMLZ right now?
Oh yeah, that's a huge number. He's able to duel anyone on the map right now, and you can see that they're placing Uzi in the side lane. They want him to be a pushing machine. They want him to start the fights for RNG here.
SMLZ, he's pushed up, he's all alone, he's got no tower, and Ming and Uzi, they're tracking him. Here comes the flash, nice flash response out from SMLZ, and the teleport out from Rogue Warriors to look for the disengage, but it's Summoners traded.
Yeah, really good reaction from SMLZ right there. I believe he used the spell shield as well as the flash in the same time, able to save his life in that scenario. But still, again, forcing out key summoners from Rogue Warriors. This is going to make RNG's next Baron fight incredibly dangerous. It's still 4 minutes away, but with how much control they have on the map, I don't think Rogue Warriors' composition is ever going to be online. Rogue Warriors, what they want to do is they want to outpush the enemy team and then group up, but it just doesn't seem like it's ever going to happen.
I mean, Rogue Warriors, essentially they're running a ticking time bomb, but RNG, they're pushing the timer back over and over again, and especially as Uzi starts to pick up more kills. He will become the star of the show. Push into the top lane, you've got Caster in the wings. Doinby is rotating from the mid lane, looking for the defense, but right now, Rogue Warriors are getting sieged up on the inner towers.
Yep, and Doinby is still telling the other team 30-minute no rush. There's still 14 minutes to go for him. Not a very good scenario, and the push is coming in for RNG.
Plus the Rift Herald as well on top of this. Mid lane's being pressured, and in fact, Zhao, who is in the bush, is going to find Doinby. Petrifying Gaze will lock him down, and here comes Zac to seal the deal. Chaos Storm's going to do nothing here, and Zhao, who finds another kill.
And the 5-man collapse is going to come down for RNG right now. We do see Zatai does have his teleport, can assist if need be. A lot of pressure being put down.
With Doinby dead, top lane is going to be very difficult to defend now from Rogue Warriors. In the bottom lane, Mouse is actually slowly just losing to Zatai straight up. Can't really stand up to this Swain. And Karsa, he's pressuring with the Zac sitting in the fog of war. If anyone steps too close, he's going to engage.
He's getting the elastic slingshot going in.
And he's right behind the bottom lane. Runs forward, slaps them both together. Down goes SMLZ, and Kahlua 1 versus 3 as an Alistar. Wolfdub's back away. He's tanky. He's in annoyance right now for RNG as they take down the tower and take down the ADC.
I told you, Uzi was going to R forward. The tower aggro wasn't even on him. He just jumped up for fun to put in a little bit more damage and to rub a little bit more salt into his apprentice in SMLZ.
SMLZ seems like he will not rise to the occasion, unfortunately, in this one. Uzi's saying, if you want to be the best, you've got to go through me. He's been absolutely taking names. We've got a lot of young upstarts to split in terms of AD carries. JackeyLove, iBoy, SMLZ, of course, a long-standing AD carry in the league, but Uzi has shut down a lot of them.
A lot of eyes are going to be on Doinby and his Victor pick this game. So far, we really haven't seen anything justifying the Victor. This is his first item in 18 minutes, so taking a very long time to really scale up.
Another engage into the mid lane. It just doesn't stop out from RNG. Looking for that against the minion. SMLZ drag back towards the team. I mean, what are you going to do as a Sivir at this stage? Another kill to RNG.
You know, I do admire SMLZ for keeping his composure. His facial expression still hasn't changed. The most I can tell is that he blinked twice when he was killed.
Yeah, if you're looking for composure, SMLZ always cool as a cucumber. But right now he's 0-4 in this game, so mentally maybe not. Here comes Flawless and Doinby into the top lane. Xiaohu might see them around the corner. Here we go. Cassiopeia can she find the outplay though, because putting a lot of damage down onto Flawless. He's stunned, however, and Doinby comes out with the damage. The power transfer is not complete because here comes the shield out from Xiaohu. He's turning into one around onto Flawless, and he's got Zatai heading into the top lane. Doinby dies, Sif Lightning for the kill.
And that's the first time we see Zatai, but that's enough to tell me that he's absolutely dangerous and terrifying in this game. 2-1 and 0 coming in with the teleport assist. And this is the RNG that Frost has spoken so highly about. The fact that they can play 1-3-1, split the map across. There has been no mistakes this game so far to let Rogue Warriors back into the game.
RNG, with all that happening in the top side, just have an open mid lane to take down the inner tower right here. Baron hasn't even spawned, and RNG are breaking down the inner turret. Bot lane is soon to follow. Zatai has been doing absolute work on that lane against Mouse, and now that Baron has spawned, it's just another thing for RNG to play around.
Rogue Warriors, they do have a lot of things to reflect on in this draft phase. Still keeping the one-track strategy, not able to get priority in any of their lanes, and now this is the culmination of their decisions. They have to face Jack.
Ming and Uzi playing bodyguard right here, but they are caught in the middle, in the midst of Rogue Warriors right now. Great disengage coming out of Ming, however. And Xiaohu, he flashes forwards into Doinby, almost instantly killing him. Ming's low, but here comes Flawless. He's trapped as well. Knocko out from Karsa, and he run down and said, Juana, you're going to die mid-air over that wall. And Uzi gets himself another kill.
Rogue Warriors just don't have enough damage. If you look at Mouse, he actually landed multiple barrel chains onto RNG's composition, but he just doesn't have the items to really dissuade RNG. RNG taking this fight with brute force.
There is no smite here for Rogue Warriors. There have to be a miracle, a boomerang blaze, anything. Not going to happen. The smite comes in from Karsa, and now Rogue Warriors in an abysmal situation as Kalua's getting chased down. Everyone's already low. They're just getting run down by RNG. SMLZ is not long for this world. Karsa will find him, get the knock-up, and Mouse, he's just on the run.
That was a 4-0 complete wipe from RNG. Not a single member lost in that team fight, and we could see the composition from Rogue Warriors, it just comes on so late into the game, and RNG able to run them over again and again, giving them no openings.
RNG are one kill off this being a perfect game. Rogue Warriors have not been able to take anything whatsoever, and at 21 minutes, RNG are looking towards these inhibitors. Mid lane inhibitor is going to die right here. We've got split push into the bottom lane from Xiaohu, but it's going to back it away, and RNG come up huge.
This is the RNG that stormed the Western Conference 7-0. This isn't the RNG before Chinese New Year's or the sluggish one that we've seen in the Eastern Conference so far. This is RNG in top shape, top form. There aren't a lot of teams in the LPL that can match them in all three lanes, and not a lot of teams that can match their coordination either. Close fight here, but RNG is still able to secure. And just watch Karsa's stretching arms. He gets the stun and then chooses for the further target, then goes back onto Doinby and secures him down. Even though SMLZ is the one with on the hunt, it isn't the team that's chasing them down. It's RNG with a very clean sweep.
That was a really hopeful, close fight there, but RNG come out on top from Yakamin because Rogue Warriors weren't even close to picking up that fight.
Yeah, like I was thinking, what do I want to talk about this replay? 10K up. Actually,
yep.
15. Sorry.
At 22 minutes, that's absurd.
Yeah. You know, RNG they're getting paid more than I am.
I mean, RNG just have so much gold to play around right now. And this is really what they have in terms of their strength. They can play around the early game, they can snowball, they can outplay, and Rogue Warriors have never been allowed to group up to really come online. And RNG, they're not going to stop. This team will never relent.
Yep, the members aren't really here for Rogue Warriors. This is a 2v4 scenario. Zatai still taking up a lot of attention in the top lane. He'll go down for free.
So we're just looking at Rogue Warriors like, when are they going to draw the line? But you're saying 30 minutes no rush, and We're still 7 minutes off that mark, and Rogue Warriors are actually behind on that front as well. In the top lane though, Zatai's getting caught out. He goes into the Zhonya's Hourglass, and Flawless the Mouse should be able to finish him off here, though he does a lot of damage in return. And Kaza is coming in. Zatai with the healing and managed to turn this one around. Meanwhile, on the base, Kalua's caught out, and Swain finds his double kill. Kalua falls, and SMLZ and Doinby, the only two remaining. There's Uzi moving forwards with his better dance. The flash forward out from Xiaohu as well, doesn't connect the ultimate, but they are just looking for the win right here. The two carries of Rogue Warriors can do absolutely nothing but look on as these Nexus turrets go down, and RNG not going to get away with that. They're going to kill absolutely everybody, and someone has to die for it. Xiaohu is the martyr, but RNG take down the Nexus. They secure their playoff spot and show that they are a real contender.
Welcome back, RNG, to the form that we expected out of you. Everyone was waiting. When was RNG going to return to their world's form? And ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a series where we finally see them do it. Cool as a cucumber, SMLZ, and also no smiles coming out from RNG. They mean business today.
Yeah, the eyes of a killer, stone cold from RNG. But a swift recovery coming out of their loss from LGD the other day from RNG. But Ming, he's always all smiles. You can always rely on Ming.
Oh yeah, look at Uzi. This is the first time I've seen him so stoic. No smiles, no banter. He just wants that playoff spot. They did take a lot of criticism from the community in that LGD series. But this time around, you know, they just went in and crushed Rogue Warriors. Not even a semblance of hope for the other team right there. And there is a lot of things that Rogue Warriors need to reflect in. They are a very single-track team. Not a lot of priority in the mid and top lane. Not a lot of priority in both games. And that really allowed, finally, Uzi cracking a smile right there.
Rough loss as well for Doinby. You could just see him walking off stage there, picking up Victor, signature champion. Didn't really get rolling, couldn't get to the team fights, didn't make anything happen. The game was over so early on. Didn't really get to show a whole lot. And RNG, maybe today they did just prove they are the second best team in the league, stealing that one away from Rogue Warriors, not in terms of the standings, but in terms of the showing they had today.
Yep, Rogue Warriors will still sit at second seed. RNG cannot catch up, but with this win today, they have secured their playoff spot.
Have indeed. Good stuff from RNG. And honestly, they have proved that they are a contender, you know. And we were thinking for a while, are RNG actually able to make a run in playoffs, even if they make it in, because they were struggling for so long in this split. But what we saw today, if they play like this all playoff long, they could definitely make a deep run.
Yep. I will say they did show one of their big cards today. It's that if you leave RNG on the blue side, you will need to ban out Xayah. This is only Uzi's third game so far on the champion, but he has a very good showing on it, and we can also see Ming being familiar on Rakan as well.
That's possibly the smoothest gold graph I've ever seen in my life. It was just constant advantages, and Rogue Warriors, they were 1 kill away, actually 2 kills away, as Xiaohu died on the fountain just at the end there from that being a perfect game to RNG. It was as close as you could possibly get, really. 24-minute win on the dot.
That doesn't count. You have to kill them all. This is a statement match, man. This is second place versus third place team in the Eastern Conference. You have to show the world what you're made of.
I feel like they definitely made a statement in this game. They completely destroyed the second best team in the LPL, Clement.
And Rogue Warriors, man, we've seen their strengths, but we've also seen their weaknesses in these coming weeks, dropping games down to Suning Gaming and also RNG. This is their third consecutive match loss so far. It's going to look very tough for them going on, and we will need to see a lot more diversity from them.
Oh yeah, definitely on the downward trend, but congratulations to RNG on the win. For now, we are going to send it back to the analyst desk.
Thanks guys, RNG able to pick up the 2-0 over Rogue Warriors. Just like game number 1, it was very decisive from RNG throughout the early game. This time, there was no comeback from Rogue Warriors throughout the late game. And they were drafting a lot better this time around. They managed to pick up Swain, and they showed they can play the Xayah Rakan lane as well.
Yeah, and that's the big thing that I really want to touch on first and foremost, is that Uzi finally got to prove that he can play Xayah. This is something that plagued him 2017 at Worlds. It's something that followed over into 2018. The very top of the show, we asked, where is the Lovers duo? And again, it's not just about Uzi playing the Xayah, it's about Ming playing the Rakan.
That is the place you have to look towards, right? The Rakan existing is a big deal for RNG. The rest of the composition, however, as well, not just those two, they worked around the Xayah Rakan duo extremely well. The Swain, you mentioned the Swain. I'm surprised they went through to the very last pick. Can't believe that, honestly. And like, we can sit here and we can compliment RNG's RNG's draft in game number 2. I do think this was a good draft from them overall, especially the fact that Uzi and Ming can play Zaire Khan. What was Rogue Warriors thinking? That's the only thing I could think about when I saw that.
I want to play my favorite champion and my favorite champion. I want to play this signature. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Like, immediately when you saw the Zaya get locked in and then the immediate response to Sejuani Alistar, we looked at each other like, okay, they're just going to blitz Uzi and kill him repeatedly. But then everything goes sideways when it's a third pick Gangplank into Sivir.
Yeah, should have been an AD carry, I think, as the third pick before it gets banned. Yeah, Caitlyn definitely the one to look towards. And then Victor, just casually picked there as your last pick. It doesn't do all that well into Cassiopeia early game. You need to upgrade your Hex Core. And then he went for a tier, didn't upgrade his Hex Core, then finished Archangels, didn't upgrade his Hex Core, and he was losing lane by that stage.
And frankly, we don't really expect that from Doinby. We've had a lot of praise for Doinby. He started out the split very strong. Mid of the split was probably one of the reasons why Rogue Warriors were considered one of the best teams in the LPL. But recently, kind of his last 3 to 5 series have just been atrocious. Doinby particularly.
Even after the Gangplank pick, we were sitting here saying, you know what, Swain pick here 4th for Rogue Warriors. It might look good that they can put Gangplank top, they put Swain in mid lane and save the AD carry pick for last since all the bans have gone through, but that's not what they did. They picked up the Sivir, and there was some very smart plays coming out from the RNG bottom lane, especially with the level 1 from Rakan.
And this is something you will never really get a chance in League of Legends. Ming can do this. Use his dog, get past idea that he's there, and there is a world where SMLZ was taunting against Uzi, making some pretty rowdy noises, and big spells are gone. RNG threw a little bit of Gouda, but the smartest kind of Gouda get themselves with a massive lead in bottom lane when a Civ is meant to be pushing them in.
And it's really punishing SMLZ's hubris. If you don't know the story of SMLZ and Uzi, SMLZ really should have been what Uzi became. They were both these great prodigy ADCs. SMLZ was chosen by Wei Xiao. Uzi was the guy coming out that was going to challenge Wei Xiao. SMLZ disappears. Uzi becomes the crownless king, and then he has his opportunity. He's going to face Uzi. 2v2, finally, first time Uzi wasn't there. Taunts him, gets punished, immediately bodied.
Yeah, from that, also the RNG continued to pick on that bottom lane. Not only was it that level 1 play, but they constantly made sure that SMLZ and Kahlua were pressured, and they fell in that bottom lane so many times. I believe the final score was 0-5 and 0-4 from their bottom lane duo.
1-11 collectively, and the only reason they got the kill is because they were diving Nexus towers, but it was just, it was brutal to watch in the bot lane.
Yeah, this is that first moment where you watch Uzi playing Zara and you're like, alright, he's got what it takes. He's actually able to dodge everything, and it may not have been seamless communication from the side of Rogue Warriors, but it looked good down there for RNG.
And special attention to whenever Uzi plays an Alistar. It is such a risky pick to pick into him. He showcased right there, he was actually trying to dodge the Alistar headbutt pulverize and also simultaneously dodge the Sejuani ultimate, but he's done this with every single champion. He is so good at reading that animation. I don't think I've ever seen Uzi locked up by an ally.
And he's been playing really well in the bottom lane for RNG. Off the back of that play, he was able to pick up an MVP performance, which is good for RNG because they've had a couple of shaky games, especially with their match recently against LGD. But Uzi has always been showing that he's still one of the strongest AD carries we have in the league.
We definitely said he was going to get it, but none of us really thought that he should have it when Ming played as well as he did as the counterpart to this lane. Of course, they are a duo. When one looks good, the other one does, and usually the AD carry will get themselves an MVP. He had a great showing, don't get me wrong, but Ming was absolutely insane.
100% agree. I will say this about Uzi though. We've heard from a lot of his supports. We've gone back, talked to Tabe, and Uzi's micromanaging of his supports in lane is unreal. How he tells them where to position, what CS they're going to go for, where to look for a trade. So while Ming was looking phenomenal, a lot of that credit we have to extend to Uzi because everything that I know about this guy in comms is he is just on another level when it comes to how he micromanages the lane phase.
Man of match performance coming out from Uzi. RNG able to sweep Rogue Warriors, who are second in their conference at the moment. That's 3 games lost for Rogue Warriors back to back. With that as well, RNG have clinched a playoff spot for the Eastern Conference.
Which means that there is only 1 ticket left for the East, and with Rogue Warriors looking as weak as they are, JD Gaming fans, you better be full aboard that hype train.
Absolutely. The one thing that you can take away from today, however, whilst 4th is still yet to be determined, is that IG, the gap between them and the entire LPL is now ridiculously large. If Rogue Warriors and RNG have shown shaky games, the reason recent RNG performance, though, that we just saw may net them second place.
I mean, we just joked about it. LGD have literally just taken down RNG before this series in a 2-1. Does that make LGD the second best team in the league?
Oh no, something about LGD and never making playoffs, but somehow being one of the best teams in the LPL.
Just a blue shell every time.
No imp, no problem.
With that, it means that there are only 2 more teams that have left to lock in their playoff spots. 2 from the Eastern Conference, 2 from the Western Conference as well. But first, let's take a look at the schedule for the English broadcast. Next time we'll be live will be on Friday. And on Friday, we have BLG taking on Vici, followed by Team WE taking on Snake.
And that's the break point for WE. If they win against Snake, they are locked into their playoff position. It's probably the hardest game because after that, they have OMG. So still a safety buffer for them to secure playoffs, although they don't want to go in 4th seed if possible.
Remember, they are still fighting with BLG for their placements in the playoffs. So BLG need to win that one against Vici. You'd expect them to, but they still have to do it.
And they're going to look to try and see if they can be as powerful they've been, make that late game resurgence, late playoff resurgence that we normally see IMA as well as BLG do. Reminder, the LPL still continues tomorrow as well as Wednesday. We will not be broadcasting those matches, but the Chinese broadcast will. So you can head over to panda.tv/LPL or douyu.com/LPL to watch all those games. And there are a couple of important matches taking place on Tuesday and Wednesday, especially the 2 e-commerce games, or one of the e-commerce games we played then.
FPX versus EDG is tomorrow on Tuesday. That game is so important, and again, EDG have been whispering. We have no confirmation on roster, but they have been whispering about Clearlove, and they definitely need him.
God, I hope so.
Well, Clearlove potentially could come back. We have the e-commerce games going on, so catch all the LPL action on douyu.com/LPL or panda.tv/LPL tomorrow and Wednesday. The English broadcast will be back on Friday, but that is the broadcast for today. On behalf of myself, the analyst, our casters, our entire production team, thank you so much for watching. See you on Friday.